www.roundforroundboxing.com. Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? 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 Yep, it's your friendly neighborhood. Teddy Atlas is back. He's come to save the day. Teddy Atlas is at the rescue. Come to rescue the career of Oleksandr Gvozdyk as he's about to challenge the WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, Adonis Stevenson. If you've got a problem and nobody else can help, maybe you should hire Teddy Atlas. Oh, Teddy Atlas is back. Yeah, it's a bit different to start. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to BWTM Sports. Don't adjust your set. It's me having a bit of fun. Well, I'm absolutely quietly furious at the moment. Busy drinking, having a nice some chips and a nice sausage, vegan sausage. Linda McCartney, they're the best. I was tucking into that nicely. I was going through my Twitter, as you do. I've still got a whole load of videos to upload. And as I'm doing that, our European correspondent, Eastern European correspondent, Eugene, has just tweeted that Teddy Atlas has been called in to help Oleksandr Gvozdyk prepare to fight the dangerous Adonis Stevenson. Listen, I spat my juice out so fast, I was like, what? Teddy Atlas. I'll explain to you why I've got such a problem with Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas, as an analyst, is exciting to listen to, biased at times, and at times can be very cringeworthy. But, you know, he's exciting in terms of, if you like that sort of thing, if you like people screaming you at the TV. See, what Teddy Atlas does on TV is exactly the same thing he does with his fighters. Let me explain something to you about Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas will always be associated with Mike Tyson and Michael Moorer. Michael Moorer, when he fought George Foreman, had Teddy Atlas, and Teddy Atlas is the kind of man that jumps into the ring when you're having a bad fight. He jumps into the ring and says to you, "Do you want me to fight him for you? Do you want me to fight him for you?" Teddy Atlas is the kind of guy, you get dropped, you go back to your corner and you're looking for guidance as to how to get out the next round. Teddy Atlas jump in and say, "You just got knocked out. You need to get up. You need to get up. You need to do better in this fight." That's the kind of man Teddy Atlas is. Teddy Atlas is the kind of man that when you need peace and quiet, Teddy Atlas is screaming in your face. Teddy Atlas, for me, is probably very abusive. As a trainer, I find him very abusive. As a man, you know, and I see there's tendencies. As a coach myself, I'm not compare myself to Teddy Atlas in no way, shape, or form, but abuse is abuse, and I find him very abusive, Teddy Atlas. And the thing is this. Let me explain something to you about Teddy Atlas. You name me one fighter in world boxing that Teddy Atlas has stayed with more than 4 fights. Teddy Atlas fighters leave Teddy Atlas and never go back. Shannon Briggs, Alexander Povetkin, Timothy Bradley. Let me tell you something. This is something not new for me when I talk about Teddy Atlas. Let me take you back to Teddy Atlas. The Teddy Atlas that I said, if Timothy Bradley took Teddy Atlas on, he would be a worse fighter and come close to getting knocked out. In all the fights that Timothy Bradley had against Manny Pacquiao, I said if Teddy Atlas brings, if Tim Bradley decides to choose Teddy Atlas as his trainer and leave the trainer he had before, which was a damn good trainer looking after him, which I thought was wrong. He does that, he's close to getting himself knocked out, and he almost did get himself knocked out by Pacquiao. Now, Teddy Atlas in the corner, people talk about a fireman thing. Teddy Atlas is a cheerleader. Teddy Atlas is not what I call a trainer. No, he's a damn cheerleader. You watch Teddy Atlas at key moments in fights. You watch him with the whole Uh, watch when Bradley gets knocked down by Pacquiao and he goes back to the corner. Watch what Teddy Atlas is doing in the corner. He's got 30 seconds to execute instructions over to his fighter. What is Teddy Atlas doing in the corner? What the hell has fireman got to do with giving your fighter instructions against one of the biggest punchers in world boxing? Teddy Atlas, to me, is out to lunch. For me, he's not a top quality trainer. He's certainly not the kind of guy I want in my corner. And what he's doing for people say, oh, well, Teddy Atlas is a great trainer. What defines a great trainer, please? Does a great trainer mean a guy that's already got skill set and you and I coming in to do your bit? Listen, I don't see the Gvozdyk and Atlas relationship lasting long at all. That relationship is not going to last at all. You name me which relationship that does. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Teddy Atlas as a trainer. You tell me technically what Teddy Atlas. Let me tell you something. Teddy Atlas as an analyst sounds great, but because he makes a great analyst and he may have done something in the past, Teddy Atlas is terrible. Absolutely terrible. This is what I mean. There are so many other good trainers out there in the world that don't get the exposure because guys like Teddy Atlas and Freddie Roach goes in there as well. Can't teach defense. There was a period of time when Freddie Roach, all his fighters were getting knocked out in the same year. Khan, Chavez. There's about 4 fighters that Pacquiao and somebody else got knocked out, all in a period of a year, exposing the frailties in Roach's technical flaws. And Teddy Atlas is another one. Name me one guy that Teddy Atlas has trained from scratch to world champion, and then I'll tell you if he's a good trainer or not. He hasn't. Teddy Atlas is a joke. I'm sorry. He's a fraud. He's one of these guys in boxing that call boxing fraud. Absolute fraud. You know, making a name of a fighter's name who already can fight. Absolute fraud. What I want to see Teddy Atlas do is fight with take a fight from scratch that nobody's heard of, or take a fighter that's got a losing run and a losing record and nobody wants to deal with. Hey, yeah, go. I tell you what, give David Price and Teddy Atlas and see what we can do there. That's a determination of what a top fight trainer is. That's a top trainer for you. Build them out from scratch. Yoel says Teddy Atlas' speech in Povetkin's corner made this grown man cry. As a person, he cracks me up, but I wouldn't want him in my corner. Teddy Atlas, in child protection terms, right? In child protection, the child matters. Anyone who works in child protection or social services, some of it is a lot of codswallop, but some of it protects the child. And here's this, yeah. Teddy Atlas is like that parent, that overbearing parent when your child is playing soccer. He's an overbearing parent that will scream and shout from the sideline and will not only fight the kid that trips his child up, he'll actually fight the coach as well. That's the kind of guy Teddy Atlas is. Just because he's on TV, it doesn't make Teddy Atlas any different. Teddy Atlas, to me, is an overrated trainer. He's a fraud in boxing. Absolute fraud. A fraud. And anybody who puts and says and worships Teddy Atlas as a trainer needs to take a serious look at themselves. There's so many hard-working, good trainers out there, but this joker, Teddy Atlas, gets the job. I don't know, but I don't know how Teddy Atlas has got the job. Let me tell you something about this. I've heard stories that Gvozdyk actually met Stevenson before, and Stevenson knocked him out in sparring cold. That's what I heard happen when Gvozdyk sparred Stevenson years ago. He was sparring, and he knocked him out. Connie Lane says Lomachenko should retire before they do him like GGG. Loma beat 7 world champions, lost to 1 in 11 fights. The fastest to get 3 division belts, 4 in total. No point in continuing. Yeah? Well, let him do what Henry Armstrong did. If you want to talk boxing. Why are you at it? Let's talk Henry Armstrong. Henry Armstrong won belts at featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, and went up to middleweight. Can Lomachenko do that? He held those belts simultaneously and went and fought for the middleweight championship of the world. And only got a draw when he should have got a win. So if you want to talk about Lomachenko for a second and he should retire, I don't think so. Let him fight at middleweight. Let him fight full-blown middle welterweights. Let Lomachenko go and fight someone like Thurman, Crawford, or Spence, and then we'll start talking about Lomachenko. Let him fight Mikey Garcia. Let him do those kind of things. Look at what Karpensi did to Gvozdyk. I haven't seen that fight. Now, my apologies right here to my man, the Eastern European correspondent, Eugene. Look, Eugene, my man, my apologies, my bad. But I just saw this story and I had to jump on it and I had to let things be known. Let Canelo fight Andre Ward. Andre Ward's not even fighting, bro. Not even fighting. Ward's retired. What are you talking about? That's dumb. Let Rigo fight GGG. That's not dumb. That's just you being a fanboy, not knowing boxing. Henry Armstrong just recently signed via his grandson, Edward Scott, to the game, round for round boxing. www.roundforroundboxing.com. Henry Armstrong won belts at featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, and was trying to draw at middleweight. And that was a time where there wasn't 4 or 5 belts floating around. There was one belt, one champion. So think about that for a second. So it's not dumb. It's very serious. Go and do your research, son, before you come on this channel talking. So yeah, back to Gvozdyk and what is Teddy Atlas doing? Teddy Atlas is the kind of guy that will get you knocked out in fights because he's emotional. Henry Armstrong was naturally a middleweight. He didn't get any recognition, so he went up in weight. Really? So you're basically saying, so that's like basically saying middleweight. That's like saying that's like Golovkin fighting a featherweight. You do talk some absolute garbage. He was naturally middleweight. So he went right down to featherweight, did he? You like Teddy on TV? I think Teddy's funny on TV. I think he's funny. When he speaks his mind, he gets taken off of TV. And then now he was pushing the thing that GGG won the fight, and he was like, robbery! Robbery! Well, he was doing that because I guess at the end of the day he lost his job. He lost his job the last time for speaking out truth and saying that Pacquiao won against Horn. So now he goes completely the other way and calls GGG and Canelo a robbery. A man who's been around boxing so long should know better than to be calling a close fight robbery. I mean, come on. Lennox Lewis versus Evander Holyfield, the first fight, was robbery. Canelo versus GGG was not robbery. So yeah, just going back to my point here. Teddy Atlas, terrible, absolutely terrible. The way you tell a great trainer is what he does when he's in the corner. You've got to watch, when you want to watch a great trainer or good trainer, or you want to learn about the sport of boxing, watch what the trainer says in the corner. See, like if you're seeing, for example, if you're seeing a fighter getting clipped repeatedly with a right hand, he goes back to the corner. If the trainer says, look, you're getting caught with the right hand, or you slip the right hand, come back with a left hook. Want to hear technical? How do you go about things? Look, you're getting beat. The jab's not, you're getting beat by the jab, right? We need to switch things up. We need to change things. If you sit a trainer in the corner, a guy's getting hurt or getting beat up, and your trainer's going, hit him more, that's not technical. But to coach a guy in the corner and you've not been doing it in training, that's another thing. You can't train a guy on the job either, in the ring. It's too late for that. A quality trainer will say, okay, plan A is not working. Very, very rarely I'm hearing it today in boxing. Plan A is not working. Let's go with plan B. Look, you know what? This ain't working. Listen, you're getting behind the jab, but he's beating you to the jab. Let's do something. Let's switch it up. Let's pick up the pace. Let's switch it up. Let's turn southpaw. Let's do something different. Don't hear a lot about that in boxing anymore. Keep hearing the same thing. Double up the jab. Use the right hand. You don't hear anything. Okay, look, it's not working. Let's go and take him on the. Let's fight him on the inside. Let's force him onto the back foot. We know he don't like fighting on the back foot. We've seen him on tape. He doesn't like the back foot. Let's push him onto the back foot. Okay, we've been working on plan A. It's working. We're working good to the plan. I want to hear more of that in boxing. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear somebody screaming in the corner talking about firemen. I don't want to hear somebody abusing a fighter in a corner. You look at Angelo Dundee. When Sugar Ray Leonard was in the corner against, when Angelo Dundee was in the corner against Thomas Hearns was in the other corner. Angelo Dindi, Sugar Ray Leonard's behind on points, and Angelo Dundee turns to his trainer and says, "You're blowing it, son. You're blowing it." And Ray Leonard comes out the next round and he puts it on Tommy Hearns. There you go, right there. Genius. Emmanuel Stewart. Lennox Lewis goes back to the corner against Mike Tyson. Lennox goes back to the corner. Emmanuel Stewart slapped Tyson. He's on Lewis's chest. You're going to blow this whole damn thing. You know, he's telling Lennox, you know, get this guy, get him out there. Get him out there as soon as possible. Emmanuel Stewart. Klitschko against Eddie Chambers. Get this guy out of there. Next round, Klitschko goes out, knocks Eddie Chambers out. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, and he left Povetkin before the Klitschko fight because he didn't think he could beat him. Real loyal trainer. There you go, Tyron Smith. I totally agree with you there. This dude doesn't understand that old-fashioned fighters weren't as big. Look at the average height of the middles back in the 40s and 50s. This isn't that time. Every welterweight and middleweight is 5'9", but they can't fight a lick compared to Henry Armstrong. That's the first thing. And if you want to do the second thing as well, okay, hold on a second. You're the same kind of guy that would tell me that Rocky Marciano would beat Lennox Lewis. You're the kind of guy that will tell me them things, right? Deontay Wilder is 215. Don't tell me about size. Deontay Wilder's 215. Evander Holyfield was what, 215, 220? Mike Tyson was 5'11. What are you talking about? Oh, dear me. Size doesn't win the fights. Skill wins fights. Muhammad Ali fought guys who were much bigger than him and knocked him out. George Foreman, 6'3", but he punched like a mule. Larry Holmes was what, 6'4", 6'5"? Tyson dealt with him. So many trainers can't read what's happening in the fight right now. So many trainers telling the fighter they're doing good and winning when they are behind and lost. That's my point. That's the realm we're in today. But just to close this off, because we're going off into another. We're going into another realm here, and we're going into another realm. To stick to the point, Teddy Atlas, as I said, Teddy Atlas is back to ruin another fighter, Gvozdyk. You tell me what qualifies Teddy Atlas to be training Gvozdyk. I mean, he's a talented fighter, Gvozdyk, don't get me wrong, but what qualifies Teddy Atlas to be training Gvozdyk? That's what I want to know. I want to know why people celebrating. Why do people celebrate Teddy Atlas? I mean, Teddy Atlas for me is very abusive, very, very abusive. And I wouldn't want him around my child. I wouldn't want him around any fighters. Very, very abusive. He's the typical trainer you have in the gym that I stay clear of. Terrible trainers. They think my screaming and shouting and insulting you is going to get the best out of you. And that, I'm sorry, don't work. It didn't help when Michael Moore fought George Foreman, did it? I mean, he got Michael Moore through issues when he fought Holyfield the first time. Didn't help the second time. So, I don't know. Not a big Teddy Atlas fan, but that's it. Good luck to Gvozdyk and Teddy Atlas. I don't think that ends well at all. He's Mickey from Rocky. I highly recommend watching a Gvozdyk Carpensi fight. I look at it. It helped. It helped when Mora beat Holyfield the first time. You mean Holyfield had a heart attack in the ring? That I found Holyfield. Or you forget about that. And you're quick to bring up that you mentioned there that Holmes was an old man and all the rest of it. But yeah, I think Evander Holyfield had a heart attack in the ring that night. I remember that fight very well, watching it live. So yeah. Teddy Atlas. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts about Teddy Atlas. It'd be great to know what you think. Do you think Teddy Atlas is a Hall of Fame trainer? Do you think Teddy Atlas is a good trainer? And if so, why so? And if not, why not? And why do you think Teddy Atlas gets the job? Is it because he's on television? You've got a TV trainer? Why is that? Why are other trainers not being selected and picked up that are much more proven than Teddy Atlas? Why Teddy Atlas? Do you think it's because Teddy Atlas is on TV and he's on ESPN. I think he's on ESPN. Do you think it's because he's on a network that people think because he's on a network he makes a good trainer, that they're going to get exposure because he's on a network? Is that the reason why? Wait, Rada goes, Teddy Atlas is a shitty trainer on every level. There we go. And it's interesting that Egas Klimas has joined again. Egas Klimas. I don't think that guy actually knows about boxing. I do wonder if Egas Klimas has got a clue about boxing. Because he done it. He fires Bashir and brings in an inexperienced trainer for Usyk. Then now he's made another great decision to get rid of the current trainer of Gvozdyk. Now to get rid of that trainer, and now bring in T Atlas. Oh, this is the same Klimas as well that had some involvement to do with Kovalev getting rid of John David Jackson. Well, that worked out well for Kovalev, didn't it? I don't think this guy Klimas cares about his fighters. I just think he just is in it for the money. I don't think he really thinks about I don't think he thinks about fighters' welfare and the trainers that he puts them with. I really don't. It just doesn't seem to make any sense to me whatsoever. Klimas was a delivery guy. Yeah, I don't care too much for Egas Klimas, to be honest. Don't care too much for him at all. I didn't like the way they handled the situation with James Bashir. Just don't disrespect people like that. You do not disrespect older, venerable Uncle James Bashir. Like, you just don't disrespect people like that. Just don't. And this is what I'm talking about. He was cutting salmon in Alaska. This is the sort of crap that I'll never forgive Klimas for, because he was to blame for it. He's single-handedly to blame for that. I don't think it was so much Usyk. I think it was Klimas. I think Klimas was the guy that gave Bashir the push, in my opinion. I love to hear him defend it, because if you look at Klimas, you look at there's Klimas footprints all around. Look at the Kovalev situation. Now look at this situation here. Look at the Usyk situation. Like just Klimas all over. Who had a friend, he needed a Russian fighter from his gym, so he brought a friend, his friend Kovalev. True story. Oh dear me. You're right, Kozanak. And do you know what? The guy that is training Usyk at the moment was Bashir's understudy. Bashir's understudy. It's funny, Bashir seems to get undercut all the time. Bashir, the reason why Jonathan Banks is the position he's in today, the truth be said, he didn't even want Jonathan Banks. He refused Jonathan Banks. He didn't think Jonathan Banks was good enough to spar with Vladimir Klitschko at the time. And Bashir was saying no. He argued with Stewart. He argued, Stewart said, I want him in the camp. I think he's good for Vladimir. I think he gives Vladimir good sparring. Stewart said no. So Bashir had to keep Banks in his own bedroom. He would not pay for Banks. So Bashir kept him in the same bedroom as him, a young Jonathan Banks, who then turns around being the trainer of Vladimir Klitschko. True story. I don't think Usyk takes advice from him. I think he does. Kovalev maybe, but Usyk is too smart. Well, why would you get rid of Bashir to bring in an inexperienced trainer? I don't get that. Well, even if he didn't, well, then that looks worse. It looks worse on Usyk because of the way he handled that whole situation with Bashir. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Now this was a guy, remember, and I was following this Usyk story. I had Usyk on the channel. I had Bashir nearly every week, every other week, or every month. I would have Bashir telling me about his relationship with Usyk. Usyk confessed and said that like Bashir was like his uncle or like his father. This is a church-going man, a very spiritual man. I don't understand how the hell Usyk cut Bashir like that. Maybe at first, and then he started just bringing talent, i.e. his Russian friends. Yeah. I thought he was just a agent translator. Well, I don't know what he is, but... Well, I understand Klimas and Russ Ambar, they've set up a gym in America, and that gym is to make sure have all Eastern European fighters in it. That's the plan. Eastern European fighters, and just set up a stable. Usyk, what's his name? Lomachenko, I think they wanted Kovalev in there. They want all the Eastern European fighters to be in this one gym. That's what they wanted to do. That was the plan. I don't know if that still is the case, but I think that was the plan, the world domination plan. So, yeah, but coming back to Gvozdyk, There's no need for him to have Atlas in his corner. Atlas is a terrible trainer. But again, let me know what you think. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments, and also check out the videos after this. We've got some good stuff. Thank you so much. As always, take care. Round for round boxing in association with BWTM Sports. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments, and check out the videos in this video. Thanks.